Hey y'all, happy Tuesday. So let's move on. I want to read a couple more verses in this peace, this spiritual peace that we have, this tranquility that we remain stable and fixed firmly. So, in talking about Jesus being the hope for Gentiles, here from Luke are two verses that will really speak to that and the peace that we obtained through him. It says, through the tender mercy of our God, whereby the day spring from on high hath visited us, to give light to them that sit in darkness and in the shadow of death, and to guide our feet into the way of peace. Into the way of peace. Now that again is that tranquility, that wholeness, that being firmly planted, and that he would guide our feet to that place by his word, getting in his word, keeping it at the center of our heart. And again, feel like I sound like a broken record, but I love the way that the Holy Spirit is tying all of this back in together to close out our month. Romans 8:6 is the last one that we'll read about this peace. And it says, for to be carnally minded is death, but to be spiritually minded is life and peace. You know, Colossians tells us something much the same way. Let me get to that book. There we go. In Colossians 3, he says, and set your minds and keep them set on what is above, the higher things, not on the things that are on the earth. For as far as the world is concerned, you have died, and your new real life is hidden with Christ in God. And so, don't you know that this is truth? To be carnally minded is death, but to be spiritually minded is life and peace. If you think about the things that are surface level in this physical world, it really is going to bring death in. It is going on all around us, and the world is hopeless and in despair. Nobody knows what to do. Nobody knows who to believe. Nobody knows what's really going on. We get bits and pieces of the truth, and we're expected to just, go along with whatever we're told. And, if you dwell on those things, if we are carnally minded, if we are worldly minded, if all we think on are the things of this world, then it is going to bring death and despair. But to be spiritually minded, to think on the things that are good and pure and lovely, and actually we can go there to Philippians, just one book over. Philippians 4:8, he says, finally, my brothers, whatsoever things are true, whatsoever things are honest, whatsoever things are just, whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things are lovely, whatsoever things are of good report, if there be any virtue, and if there be any praise, think on these things. Well, I don't know of any things that fall into those categories that are of this world. But oh, the goodness of God, his blessings, his faithfulness, the spiritually minded things which bring life and peace. So we want to set our minds on things above and keep them set there. And every time our minds start to wander and we start to go down the rabbit hole of all of the things that we face and that we're dealing with, we have to stop. Remember, go back, way, way, way back, y'all, and say, soul, now wait a minute. We're going to wait only on God, and we're going to silently submit to him, because my hope and expectation are from him. Soul, he only is my rock and my salvation. He is my defense and my fortress, and I shall not be moved. And we shift our focus, our mind, and our attention from those carnal things, from the things of this world, back to the Word and the hope of promise. We'll pick up here tomorrow. I'll see you then. Bye, y'all.